Hello everyone, welcome to the Tim Booker channel. Wishing you a delightful listening experience. Today, I'll be interpreting the book, The Winner's Brain. What are the common elements of success found in the minds of achievers, and how are these elements cultivated? In our previous understanding, a person's success was believed to result from a combination of many factors, such as intelligence, living environment, economic foundation, and social networks, among others. Of course, a bit of luck was considered essential too. However, this book presents a different perspective. The book proposes that every successful individual possesses similar brain structures. They are simply better at utilizing certain attributes of the brain, maximizing its potential, and ultimately achieving success. The authors of this book, Jeff Brown and Mark Fensky, are experts in psychology. Let's focus on Jeff Brown for a moment. He is a psychologist at Harvard University, primarily teaching people effective techniques to balance the brain and lead a positive and optimistic life. Many of his psychological insights have been covered by numerous reputable media outlets, including the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Boston Globe, Entrepreneur, and more. The Winner's Brain is one of Brown's most enduring works, published in several countries. In this book, the authors meticulously analyze a plethora of real-life cases, distilling 8 common elements of success within the minds of achievers. Among these, the 3 most significant are motivation, resilience, and emotional balance. Today, we'll predominantly delve into these 3 aspects to explore how to cultivate a successful mindset. Let's begin by discussing the first element of success, motivation. Motivation serves as the intrinsic driving force behind success, aiding achievers in overcoming challenges. You might wonder, what exactly is motivation, and is it truly as crucial for accomplishing tasks? In psychology, motivation generally involves the direction, intensity, and persistence of behavior. In simpler terms, it's the thought that prompts you to do something. Let me illustrate with an example. There's a Japanese author named Nakashima who wrote a book titled, Getting Up at 4 a.m. This book recounts his years of consistently waking up at 4 a.m. to work. This persistent behavior has garnered admiration and raised questions about why he chooses to wake up so early. This notion of initiation and direction, the reason for committing each day, is motivation. You might ask whether motivation originates within oneself. Not entirely. Most people have experienced those days when they wake up feeling particularly motivated, full of energy and readiness to tackle tasks. They create to-do lists and complete tasks one after another. However, these moments are not frequent. There are only a few days in a month when we possess strong motivation to accomplish something. How is motivation generated then? The authors describe the process as a 3-stage cycle called the motivation triad. It's not a sudden spark in the mind, rather, it unfolds in 3 stages. The first stage is called the pathway generation stage. Think of it like planning a road trip using a map. You locate your destination and chart your course. This stage equips your brain with a GPS, with your goal flashing like a GPS dot in your mind. Once the destination is set, the brain enters the second stage, the triggering stage. At this point, your destination is programmed into your neural GPS. You know where you're headed, and it's time to step on the accelerator. This stage is akin to pressing the gas pedal. Although action hasn't begun, you're fueled by a strong intent to start. The final stage is the running stage. This is when the GPS is locked in, the tank is full, and you're ready to hit the road. Going back to the example of Nakashima, before committing to waking up at 4 a.m., he surely set a clear goal in his mind. He contemplated how to achieve that goal and how long he should persist. Once translated into action, this completes the positive loop of motivation. These 3 stages seem straightforward, but they are rarely fully executed. The challenge lies in completing the loop positively. Successful individuals excel at initiating this loop over and over until action is taken, leading to goal attainment. The key difference between successful and average minds lies in their adeptness at initiating this loop. The process might seem complex, but the authors offer a method known as the external rewards method to aid in generating motivation. For instance, if you want to lose weight, buy a smaller-sized outfit and place it prominently. The costlier, the better. This external reward provides momentum, assisting you in transitioning from triggering to running stages, making the loop smoother. However, smoothly entering the running stage doesn't guarantee the positive loop's completion. While both successful individuals and ordinary people engage in action, the quality of action varies. For example, consider an hour of reading. Some individuals immerse themselves fully, absorbing knowledge, while others spend the same hour without retaining anything. To improve action quality, successful individuals strive to achieve a state of flow. This state involves complete immersion and intense focus. When in flow, people even lose track of time and space. You've likely experienced this while engrossed in a task, where time flies, and you might forget to eat. The flow state's generation depends on the alignment of personal capacity with the challenge's difficulty. Only when your skills and the challenge are both high can the state of flow be achieved. If both are low, despite alignment, it leads to a state of apathy, not flow. As an analogy, consider doing laundry. For adults, this falls into the apathy category, as it's low in challenge and skill. To induce the flow state, your capabilities and the challenge must be high, leading to two scenarios. First, if your skills are high, it's straightforward, engage in tasks aligned with your competence. Second, if your skills are low, focus on tasks at the challenge's lower end. Gradually, build competence through practice, elevating both skill and challenge levels. In summary, motivation's production follows a three-stage process: the motivation triad, pathway generation, triggering, and running. The external rewards method facilitates a smoother transition between triggering and running stages. For optimal action quality, entering a state of flow is crucial. This state can be achieved by aligning personal abilities with challenges. Successful individuals excel at initiating the positive loop of motivation, and the key lies in mastering this cycle. For successful individuals, having motivation alone is insufficient. We often find that even with strong motivation to accomplish something, the harsh realities of life can extinguish our enthusiasm and bring us back to square one. Now, let's delve into another critical element of success that successful individuals must possess when external circumstances challenge them: resilience. In every person's life, there are various adversities, setbacks, and blows. However, why do some people crumble in the face of difficulties, while others persist through hardship, unwavering and resolute? The answer lies in the possession of resilience. So, what exactly is resilience, the quality that helps people weather tough times? Psychology defines resilience as the ability to confront various changes and overcome pressures in adverse circumstances, recovering from adversity and maintaining a normal life. Imagine it as a spring. Regardless of how much pressure the external world exerts, this quality always enables you to rebound to your original state. Successful individuals have cultivated substantial reserves of resilience. They consistently get up one more time than others after falling. The book narrates a true story I've reported on in major media across the United States. In 1989, a young girl named Teresa Meany was jogging in Central Park when something dreadful happened. On the paths of the reservoir in Central Park, she was brutally attacked and assaulted. She lost 75% of her blood, suffered severe head injuries, and nearly died. Despite her bleak chances of survival, she emerged from a coma and mental confusion, ultimately recovering. While such an incident might leave others living in the shadow of fear for life, this wasn't the case for her. She successfully emerged from the brink of a fatal blow, driven by her remarkable resilience, and found her way back to normal life. She eventually became an inspirational speaker. When life deals severe blows, two outcomes typically arise. Some succumb to disasters and are unable to recover, while others refuse to let external circumstances disturb their choices. No matter how substantial the setback, they can swiftly recover and stand strong, just like the resilient beauty in the story. So, why do some individuals possess resilience? The author introduces a concept called the locus of control. It involves attributing positive and negative events in life. At this critical point, you have two options. The first is to attribute all your experiences to external factors. Individuals with this perspective are called externally controlled personalities. They believe events happen due to external forces, such as the environment, other people, or fate. They feel they have limited control. The opposite is internally controlled personalities. These individuals believe they can master their own fate and don't attribute outcomes to external circumstances. The author argues that those with an internal locus of control possess more resilience. This trait allows them to liberate themselves from failure, recover, and tackle greater challenges with enthusiasm. Now, you might wonder if being externally controlled means being perpetually defeated. The author advises that if you're externally controlled, you can change your worldview by completing small tasks. For example, if you lose your job, you can choose to wait for opportunities or proactively send your resume to potential employers. Similarly, if you don't get into your desired college, you can choose regret or complaint, or you can accept the reality and think about how to make the most of your university life. Making deliberate efforts in these small choices can shift your perspective. Once you gain confidence in controlling these minor aspects of life, you can face more substantial challenges with a sense of responsibility. Apart from altering your worldview through small actions, the author introduces a method to cultivate resilience, seeking role models in coping with failure. In simple terms, observe how others respond to failure. When faced with adversity, you can ask yourself, what would my favorite professor, boss, idol, or friend do? Then, imagine yourself adopting their mindset and using their coping resources to navigate through your worst times. While this might seem somewhat idealistic, it has proven to be highly effective due to mirror neurons in our brain's network. These neurons allow us to internally simulate the actions, intentions, and emotions of others, helping us better understand their behavior. Utilizing external support can significantly aid self-recovery. In summary, we've discussed the vital role of resilience when facing difficulties in life. We've explored the differences between internal and external locus of control and the choices made at the control point. For externally controlled personalities, changing their worldview through small actions can instill confidence. Additionally, seeking coping role models can harness the power of others' thoughts and resources to facilitate self-recovery. We know that to emerge from significant trauma, one must possess not only resilience but also the power of emotions. Whether you're going through a difficult divorce or suddenly facing unemployment, your emotions can enhance your resilience. The third common factor in the brains of successful individuals is emotional balance. We frequently observe that successful individuals appear to be perpetually energetic, efficiently manage their time, and achieve their goals, while others tend to be lazier. This phenomenon is influenced not only by motivation, as previously discussed, but also by emotions. Each situation has an optimal emotional state and level. Successful individuals manage to maintain themselves at this optimal emotional state, following a pattern known as Yerkes-Dodson law, named after Harvard psychologists Yerkes and Dodson who first discovered this relationship. The optimal emotional state is associated with an optimal level of arousal, which is the stress metabolism level in your body. When a person is extremely fearful or excessively excited, their arousal level naturally spikes. This leads to sleeplessness and agitation. On the contrary, mild sadness or satisfaction results in lower arousal levels, which also hinder task completion. According to the Yerkes-Dodson law, there is an optimal emotional arousal level for each activity. If arousal is too low or too high, work efficiency decreases. Imagine a graph with a coordinate system, where the horizontal axis represents emotional arousal and the vertical axis represents task completion. The relationship between them isn't linear but resembles an inverted U-shaped curve. Task completion reaches its peak when emotional arousal is at a moderate level, not too high or too low. Excessive emotional arousal, as the saying goes, can lead to being lost in success. For instance, when feeling overly confident, arousal levels are high, leading to decreased task performance. This phenomenon is captured in the idiom lost in success. However, it's also not advisable to maintain consistently low arousal levels. Some situations require heightened excitement. The key lies in matching the emotional arousal level to the task difficulty. For easy tasks, higher arousal is beneficial, while lower arousal is ideal for complex tasks. Moderate arousal levels suit moderately difficult tasks. Determining the simplicity or complexity of a task isn't governed by a strict rule. It depends on your mastery of the subject. For example, if you're not accustomed to job interviews, interviews can be considered difficult tasks. In such cases, lower emotional arousal is advantageous, promoting a relaxed and composed attitude. In contrast, creating a resume, a relatively simple task, requires higher emotional arousal to instill a sense of urgency and seriousness. In conclusion, following the example of successful individuals' brains necessitates mastering the regulation of your emotional arousal levels. Assess your abilities and the relative difficulty of your goals to decide whether higher or lower emotional arousal levels are appropriate. How to practically achieve this balance is the next question. First, you need to learn to understand yourself. The author suggests keeping an emotion journal for 1 to 2 weeks to identify your emotional range. Before bed, rate your emotions for the day on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being extremely happy and 0 being very sad. Adjust the rating based on the intensity, and then plot these points on a graph to create a line representing your emotional state over 2 weeks. This helps you identify your emotional baseline and the range of your emotional fluctuations. Determine which situations elicit high or low emotions and recognize which emotions you find easy or difficult to express. Are you better at conveying happiness or sadness, satisfaction or anger? Once you understand your emotional patterns, you'll find it easier to regulate your emotional arousal levels during critical moments and attain your optimal state. But what if, after 2 weeks, you find consistently low emotional states? After understanding your emotional patterns, how do you manage your emotions? The book proposes an effective technique for emotional management called the bookmark method. Imagine your desk cluttered with files and documents. You use a bookmark to separate these files from your current task. This practice eases your stress and anxiety by focusing only on the current task, effectively isolating past and future concerns. The bookmark represents your present moment. It's not about escaping problems but rather using the bookmark to temporarily separate the present from the past and future. Once you complete your current task, you can remove the bookmark and address any past concerns. For instance, during the 1996 Olympics, gymnast Chris Trug, after injuring his ankle in the first vault jump, set a mental bookmark to focus solely on the upcoming vault. By doing so, he was able to perform successfully despite the pressure. This method prevents overwhelming pressure and anxiety by narrowing your focus to a controllable task. In conclusion, for emotional balance, we discussed the Yerkes-Dodson law, which emphasizes the optimal emotional arousal level for task completion. We suggested understanding yourself by recording an emotion journal, identifying your emotional baseline and range, and recognizing your emotional strengths and challenges. In times of uncontrollable emotions, the bookmark method can help you concentrate on manageable tasks. Completing such tasks can elevate your emotional arousal level and make it easier to tackle subsequent challenges. Throughout the book, we discussed the 3 main success factors in the brains of successful individuals: motivation, resilience, and emotional balance. Additionally, the author introduced 5 other success factors: self-awareness, focus, memory, adaptability, and nurturing the brain. The author believes conscious exercise can change brain neural connections, leading to a more positive brain and helping us achieve success. Congratulations! You've just finished another book. Thank you for tuning in to the Tim Booker channel. Please subscribe, like, and share this valuable knowledge with your friends, combining wisdom and practice to achieve your financial goals and create a better future. Thank you all, and goodbye.